歡迎各位嚟到今日嘅記者會。而家先請公務員事務局局長楊何蓓茵女士發言。
各位市民、各位傳媒朋友，大家好。我知道大家一直都十分之留意公務員薪酬調整呢個工作。行政長官會同行政會議喺今日上午嘅會議呢，係討論咗2022至23年度公務員薪酬調整嘅。我喺會議之後第一時間向大家公布政府向職方提出嘅薪酬調整方案。公務員團隊係政府嘅骨幹，有責任全力支持政府施政工作。本屆政府十分之注重與公務員團隊嘅工作關係同埋合作，亦都期望公務員團隊繼續秉持專業高效嘅精神去履行職責，不負市民嘅期望。我哋亦都十分之理解公務員同事對於今年處理薪酬調整工作時間表嘅關注。事實上，公務員嘅薪酬調整不單止直接影響18萬公務員嘅同事，仲會影響大約2萬多名非公務員合約員工，同埋政府資助機構所收到嘅資助金撥款，同埋資助機構嘅大約20萬員工，所影響嘅總人數呢係達到數十萬嘅。因此，本屆政府一上任已經決定係盡快咁處理公務員薪酬調整嘅工作。為咗加快完成整個薪酬調整工作，本屆政府亦都大幅咁壓縮工作嘅時間表。喺今日，亦都即係今屆行政會議嘅第一次會議之上呢，我哋就尋求行政長官同埋行政會議嘅同意，向4個公務員中央評議會職方提出2022年至23年度嘅薪酬調整方案。經過充分考慮薪酬調整機制之下嘅6大因素，包括香港經濟狀況、生活費用嘅變動、政府嘅財政狀況、公務員士氣、薪酬調整、薪酬趨勢淨指標同埋職方對於薪酬調整嘅要求之後呢，行政長官會同行政會議同意提出嘅薪酬調整方案，係為高、中、低層3層嘅薪金級別同埋首長級嘅公務員嘅薪酬劃一上調2.5%，生效日期係追溯至到2022年嘅4月1日。香港過去1年係面對複雜嘅經濟環境。2021年香港嘅經濟復甦，但係今年第一季本港嘅經濟喺第5波嘅疫情之下嚴重受挫。近月雖然營商氣氛同埋就業嘅情況呢係略有改善，但係整體嘅經濟仍然存有不確定性。考慮過去1年嘅生活成本上升、經濟狀況嘅變動、政府嘅財政狀況，2022年薪酬調整薪酬趨勢調查中3個薪金級別嘅薪酬趨勢淨指標係正數呢一點，同埋各級公務員都係積極咁投入抗疫工作等等呢啲情況，行政長官會同行政會議平衡咗所有相關因素之後，提出咗劃一加薪2.5%嘅調整方案。下一步，我會喺聽日即係7月6號同4個公務員中央評議會嘅職方會面，聽取佢哋對呢一個方案嘅回應，然後會盡快尋求行政會議就最終嘅薪酬調整幅度作決定。我哋嘅工作目標係爭取喺本立法年度會期結束之前，就有關嘅方案諮詢立法會公務員及資助機構員工事務委員會，然後係提交財務委員會去審議嘅。Let me say a few words in English. The current term government highly values cooperation with the civil service and expects the civil service to continue to discharge their duties professionally and efficiently to meet public expectations. The government fully understands the concerns of the civil service colleagues about the timetable of the civil service pay adjustment exercise. In addition, civil service pay adjustment will have a bearing on non-civil service contract staff, as well as the subventions received by subvented organizations and the pay of the staff of these organizations. In order to expedite the exercise, the government has decided to significantly compress the work timetable and handle this issue at the first meeting of the current term Executive Council. Having taken into consideration the 6 relevant factors under the established mechanism, namely the state of Hong Kong's economy, changes in the cost of living, the government's fiscal position, civil service morale, the net pay trend indicators, and the pay claims of the staff side, the Chief Executive in Council has decided earlier today that an offer be made to the staff side of the 4 civil service central consultative councils, under which the pay for civil servants in the upper, middle, and lower salary bands and directorate be increased at the same rate of 2.5% for 2022 to 23, effective retrospectively from April 1st. Hong Kong's economy has been in a complex situation in the past year. Despite the strong rebound in 2021, the economy was severely hit in the first quarter of 2022 amidst the 5th wave of the epidemic. Although the business atmosphere and the employment situation has changed for the better in recent months, there remain uncertainties in the overall economic situation. The offer to increase the pay at the same rate of 2.5% across the board is a decision taken after balancing factors, including the increase in the cost of living in the past year, the changes in the economic situation, the government's fiscal position, the positive net PTIs for all 3 salary bands for 2022, and the exemplary commitment of civil servants from all ranks in fighting the epidemic. Moving forward, I will meet with the representatives of the 4 central consultative councils tomorrow to listen to their views on the pay offer. We will then proceed to seek the CE in Council's decision on the final pay adjustment magnitude after taking into account the response from the staff side. Thank you.
而家係提問時間，請各位提問之前先講出自己代表嘅傳媒機構，每次可以問3個問題。依邊嘅最後嗰行嗰位女士。
係局長你好 TVB 嘅，咁首先第一樣嘢就係想了解翻啦，因為之前公佈嗰個薪酬趨勢結果咧，咁啊將高中低公務員啦，其實3個加幅咧都唔同啦，咁其實覺得呢個指標點咧？點解今次呢個決定其實唔跟翻呢一個指標咧？咁另外都想了解翻啦，因為即係3級嘅公務員啦，其實佢哋嗰個工作性質都唔一樣嘅，其實自己會唔會都擔心即係影響員工士氣各方面咧？唔該。
首先呢，我哋嘅薪酬趨勢淨指標咧，從來都係6個考慮嘅因素之一，就並唔係咧我哋必然要跟隨嘅一個建議嚟嘅。咁喺過往咧，亦都有一啲年份咧係因為特別嘅原因咧，係冇跟隨到呢一個薪酬趨勢淨指標咧去做嗰個最後嘅決定嘅。咁今年咧，亦都係一個比較特別嘅年份啦。我剛才喺開場發言嘅時候都解釋咗。喺2021年咧，香港嘅經濟咧係復甦嘅，但係喺2022年嘅第一季咧，因為第5波嘅疫情咧，香港嘅經濟係受到嚴重嘅挫折啦，嗰個就業嘅情況、就業不足率嘅情況都非常之唔理想啦。咁所以喺呢個咁嘅情況之下咧，我哋係需要比較小心去處理今次呢個問題嘅。咁而我哋考慮嘅6個因素裏面咧，亦都我哋需要考慮咧香港個經濟狀況，而香港嘅經濟狀況而家喺4月底開始咧放鬆咗社交距離措施之後咧，的確係有一個改善嘅。我哋嘅失業率啦，有輕微嘅跌幅啦，就業不足率亦都有跌幅啦，但係咧仍然咧整個就業市場需要復原咧，都係需要一啲時間嘅。咁而外圍嘅經濟狀況咧，就更加有一啲不明朗嘅因素。環球嘅經濟狀況咧，都係受住幾樣嘢影響啦。一啲央行收緊咗貨幣嘅政策啦。外國好多國家個通脹嘅升幅係非常之高嘅。 咁另外地緣政治令到國際關係都好緊張。咁等等呢一啲咧，對於整個環球嘅經濟狀況咧，係有一啲不明朗嘅因素喺度嘅。咁而香港作為一個非常之開放型嘅經濟，受到外面嘅影響咧係大嘅。咁所以我哋覺得今年我哋係要比較審慎咁處理呢個問題。咁大家可能亦都會記得，今年嘅財政預算咧喺2022至23年度咧係一個赤字預算嚟嘅，個赤字係500幾億嘅。咁所以考慮咗呢一啲之後咧，我哋覺得平衡咗咁多個方案，得出呢一個3個唔同薪級唔同嘅層級嘅薪金層級嘅公務員嘅薪酬調整咧，我哋覺得而家呢一個咧係攞到一個比較好嘅平衡嘅。
好，下一位嗰位男士間條衫嗰位。
Hi, hello. A few questions from the South China Morning Post. The first question is to ask, how do you think that this current pay adjustment will be taken by the civil service? Will it affect their morale? And also, just to add on a little bit, will it also affect their trust in the mechanism to determine this pay rise as well? The next question is to ask about the mechanism itself. This period of the salary adjustment has been subjected to a lot of controversy and a lot of debate. Will the department consider adjusting or perhaps revamping the adjustment mechanism? And if so, how will you go about it? And also to ask, could you again elaborate on the rationale behind this 2.5 suggested increase? Because this is quite a steep drop from what was mentioned before in the pay trend survey, from 7% all the way down to only 2.5%. Thank you.
Thank you. The net PTIs, the pay trend indicators, the net indicators, has never been the sole consideration in civil service pay adjustment. It is only one of the 6 factors that we should take into account. For your first question, whether staff morale will be affected, I hope civil service colleagues, and I do trust civil service colleagues, will understand the rationale behind. And as Hong Kong is progressing and Hong Kong's economy is recovering and Hong Kong is progressing on a recovery path, I'm sure our civil service colleagues, as both civil servants and as Hong Kong citizens, will strive their best to help the recovery, to do their best to help Hong Kong to get back to normalcy. So I don't think civil service morale will be affected. And in fact, civil service morale and civil servants' contributions in the 5th wave, in anti-epidemic work, as well as in other areas, have been greatly appreciated by the Cs in Council when making this decision. As for the mechanism, I think we have to differentiate between what is the mechanism and the pay trend survey methodology. As I said, the net indicators, which are the outcome of the pay trend survey, is only one of the factors to be considered in the civil service pay adjustment exercise. The entire mechanism requires us to consider 6 factors in total, balancing 6 factors, taking into account the current situation. So the methodology itself will be reviewed by the committee doing the pay trend survey every year before they start a fresh round of survey. So I'm sure the committee this year will look at the methodology again and see if there can be adjustments. But for the mechanism, or the adjustment mechanism itself, we believe the 6 factors have provided us a very good basis for consideration. And all the necessary factors that should be taken into account are present here in this basket of factors. So I think the mechanism itself has been serving us very well, and I do not believe that there should be any major changes to the mechanism.
好，嗰位男士喺第3行側邊嗰位。
局長你好，明報嘅，我有3個問題。第 第一咧係你提到咧今年係一個比較情況特別嘅年份啦，咁同埋咧即係薪酬趨勢調查嗰個指數咧係只係6大因素嘅其中一個啦。你擔唔擔心今次嘅決定咧，即係會影響成個薪酬即係公務員薪酬調整制度嘅公信力咧？同埋即係如果地緣政治係繼續緊張，咁呢個即係趨勢調查嘅結果係咪都將來只會佔一個比較輕嘅即係放比重嘅因素咧？呢個第一。第二咧係嗰個你會見公務員嘅團體啦。即係今日呢個2.5% 咧，係咪你嘅底牌嚟嘅？即係會唔會可能個底線係唔可以加過3% 咧？即係你會唔會可能尋求公務員團體支持諒解？譬如講下一個年度再補加翻，即係經濟好翻嘅時候補加翻咧？呢個第二。第三咧就係即係我理解喺嗰個薪酬趨勢嗰個調整咧，仲有嗰個薪酬水平嗰個調查。咁會唔會即係其實局方最後其實都有機會喺嗰個即係呢個即係比較多年再做嘅檢討嘅嗰個機制當中，去追翻今次嘅嗰個落後咧？咁嘅。
好啊，多謝你嘅問題。首先呢，就係我哋成個薪酬水平薪酬趨勢調查呢，佢本身係有佢自己嘅一個調查嘅方法啦。而我哋負責調查嘅委員會呢，委員會都有3方嘅成員嘅，有政府嘅代表，有職方嘅代表，亦都有獨立嘅人士，係由我哋同俾政府關於公務員薪酬意見嘅委員會裏邊咧嘅成員出任嘅。咁每一年咧，我哋開始嗰個趨勢調查之前呢，個委員會都會睇翻過往用嘅調查方法，咁係會有一啲有機會會有一啲微調啊等等。咁呢個咧，我相信委員會喺今年下半年開始呢個工作嘅時候咧，一樣係會做呢一個工作嘅。但係呢一個咧，唔等於我哋成個薪酬調整嘅機制本身有問題。成個薪酬調整嘅機制咧，裡面咧薪酬趨勢調查出嚟嘅結果係其中一個因素，就唔係一定要跟隨嘅指標，亦都唔係咧係必然係個建議。咁所以整個機制本身咧，其實係佢具有公信力嘅。我哋都行咗呢個機制咧係幾十年㗎啦。咁而過往咧亦都有年份咧係因為嗰個經濟嘅情況特殊啦，或者係因為個通脹情況係特殊啦，而係咧係嗰個最終出嚟嘅決定咧係同嗰個薪酬趨勢調查嘅淨指標咧係有分別嘅。咁經過呢啲年份之後咧，喺一啲經濟好嘅年份咧，可能嗰個決定又會差唔多都唔定。咁喺其實係唔同嘅情況都出現過嘅。咁但係呢個機制咧，其實係經得起時間嘅考驗，經得起唔同嘅情況嘅考驗嘅。咁所以我覺得個機制嘅公信力咧係冇乜大問題嘅。至於我哋是否有底線呢？其實最終嘅決定呢係要行政長官會同行政會議去決定嘅。咁正如我喺開場發言咁講啦，我哋聽日會晤咗職方嘅代表之後，收到佢哋對呢一個調整方案嘅回應啦，我哋會再交翻俾行政長官會同行政會議去作最後決定。咁我諗我喺呢度呢，就唔係好適宜去猜度嗰個最後嘅結果啦。
好，下一位。
好啊，我答埋呢個問題啊。喺我哋嘅政策裏面呢，我哋每一年追蹤嗰個，或者每一年做嗰個薪酬嘅調整呢，就會係有呢一個我而家講緊呢一個薪酬調整嘅機制啦。咁我哋亦都有一個薪酬水平調查嘅，大概係每6年做一次嘅。咁亦都正係而家呢，我哋亦都展開咗呢個薪酬水平調查嘅首階段嘅工作。咁呢個首階段嘅工作，我哋預計呢係希望喺明年呢，就係明年年中啦，會係做好。咁到時我哋會睇一睇呢，到時係咪一個合適嘅時候呢，去開展第2階段嘅工作。咁做完咗之後呢，會對於政府主要係文職嘅職系啦，唔同嘅職系嗰個薪酬水平，同埋喺私營市場做一啲相類近嘅工作嘅薪酬水平，係唔係可以有個可比性喺度？係唔係大概有個一致性？咁到時如果有需要做任何調整嘅話呢，我哋亦都會呢嗰個結果呢係會交翻俾行政長官會同行政會議去決定嘅。
好，第2行嗰位女士啊。
Thank you. A few questions from RTHK. Just to follow up on a previous question, could you explain the rationale behind the standard pay adjustment for senior, middle, and also junior civil servants because back in 2019, the percentage was higher for junior and middle class senior civil servants. And the second question has to do about the 2.5% increase. So you said civil servants would understand the rationale. And could we also ask about what you make of it? Because the CPI in the past 2 years was already 1.9% combined. So it was in 1.6 in 2021 and 0.3 in 2020. So how would you compare the percentage increase in the CPI or the inflation and also the pay rise this time? Thank you.
Thank you for your question. For the rationale, as I explained just now, the net patron survey indicators is one of the considerations we've taken into account, but we've also taken into account other considerations. And this is a special year. Our economy is just recovering from the fifth wave of the epidemic. There has been improvements in recent months, but whether the local economic situation will continue to improve depends very much on whether the epidemic will be under control. There are also uncertainties in the bigger global scene. There are geopolitics considerations, tense international relations. Inflation in other countries has also been high. So there are a lot of uncertainties there. And Hong Kong being an open economy is bound to be affected by what's happening elsewhere in the world. And this year we are having a deficit budget. There will be a deficit as forecast by the Financial Secretary of more than 50 billion. So we believe this year, when dealing with civil service pay adjustment, we should be more prudent. And the 2.5% increase across the board is a decision taken after balancing all the relevant factors. That is the rationale behind. As for the change in cost of living, the CPI, every year when the CE in Council makes a decision on civil service pay adjustment, the CE in Council will have taken into consideration all the factors relevant for that year. So we do not carry the factors that was relevant for a past year into this year's consideration. So this year we've taken into account the CPI increase in the 12 months from April 2021 to March 2022 over the previous 12 months, and the percentage increase is about 1.7%.
或者我哋答多兩位嘅問題，前面呢位女士。
局長你好，咁想問下今次嘅加薪幅度同原本嘅指標入邊期望唔同啦，咁最主要根據啲咩準則同決定？咁點解係會有 2.5% 呢個結論，同埋點解要會劃一加幅呢？咁另外咧都覺得呢個做法得到嘅數據調查嘅數據係咪可靠啦？咁之後咧頭先會講到會有微調嘅可能性啦，咁個微調嘅方向會係點樣？咁同埋咧，如果唔係嘅話，會唔會驚令到個制度其實係形同虛設咗咧？咁仲有咧呢個落差會唔會引起公務員工會嘅不滿啊？因為佢哋抗疫都成日幫手啦，咁驚唔驚係影響到士氣，甚至造成人才流失咧？咁而最後咧，商會都有聲音話，其實加薪會令到其他嘅企業都有個壓力，咁其實可能要追隨政府嘅薪酬水平，咁加重企業嘅負擔。咁唔知局長點睇呢個漣漪效應咧？唔該。
好啊，我想解釋翻嗰個薪酬趨勢調查嘅淨指標咧，我都需要真係再三強調咧，呢個係我哋6個要考慮嘅因素之一，呢個從來都唔係唯一考慮嘅因素，或者必須跟隨嘅一個因素。而事實上喺過去呢，係做咗29年嘅薪酬趨勢調查裏邊呢，有10年呢係同嗰個最後嘅決定呢，係同嗰個薪酬趨勢調查呢係有較大嘅差異嘅。咁所以呢個情況唔係喺以前冇發生過嘅。喺呢啲年份呢，通常我哋嘅社會嘅經濟係有啲特殊嘅情況啦，或者個通脹嘅情況係有特殊嘅情況啦，咁樣。咁所以其實公務員呢，亦都係曾經 係經歷過呢一啲咁樣嘅情況，所以今年嘅呢個特別即係香港個經濟個特別嘅情況咧，亦都唔係大家睇唔到嘅。咁我好相信公務員同事咧都會明白，都會理解嗰個情況，而且譬如政府嗰個呢個赤字嘅預算啦，亦都係喺財政預算嗰陣時咧係公布咗。咁公務員同事咧亦都係應該係理解嘅。至於喺個人才流失嗰方面，或者係公務員嘅士氣方面咧，我好深信咧，我哋嘅公務員團隊咧係會好有責任感咁樣咧，係繼續做好我哋嘅工作嘅。尤其是香港而家係喺我哋喺一個復原嘅路上啦，我哋都見到我哋經濟慢慢復原啦。好，正如我剛才講，公務員無論係以佢哋自己公務員嘅身份，或者係以香港市民嘅身份，我都好相信係好希望我哋嘅經濟係盡快復原，香港整個社會會恢復翻嗰個活力。咁所以公務員嘅同事呢，我好相信佢哋都會係好盡心盡力咁去做好呢個工作，讓香港能夠盡快咁樣恢復翻佢嘅活力，恢復翻佢嘅繁盛嘅。另外人才流失方面呢，我哋其實睇翻公務員嘅薪酬，或者公務員嘅整體嘅整個佢嘅回報啦，可以咁樣講。其實喺長線嚟睇呢，我哋並唔同私營機構呢係有太大嘅落差嘅。我哋其實都係存在嗰個競爭力嘅。咁呢個亦都從我哋每一次我哋做一啲職位嘅招聘呢，我哋其實收到嘅申請呢都好大量，嗰度呢可以睇得到出嚟。咁所以呢，我亦都唔係好擔心呢係會有大量嘅人才嘅流失。而畢竟公務員嘅工作呢，其實對於公務員之所以吸引呢，亦都唔係單單係靠薪酬嘅。其實喺我哋嘅工作裏邊呢，能夠服務社會嗰個滿足感啦，能夠為大眾做一啲令整體香港都會進步嘅事啦，等等咧，呢啲都係對公務員呢係有好大嘅動力嘅。咁另外公務員嗰個工作嘅崗位嘅穩定性啦，等等咧，呢一啲都係吸引外面嘅人係加入公務員隊伍嘅一啲要素嚟嘅。咁所以我都唔擔心呢個係會造成人才流失嘅。
好，咁或者嗰位最後嗰行嗰位女士。
你好 Now TV 嘅，都想問下咧，即係3層公務員嗰個調查結果就係2.04至到7.26，都想問清楚，即係點樣計出呢個2.5% 咧？係咪跟通脹？跟住同埋都想問下咧，點解決定即係3級公務員都劃一調整？因為過往都似乎高層個公務員係即係分開去調整佢嘅薪酬啦。同埋最後就想問下，即係呢個今次嘅薪酬調整就同個調查結果都差比較遠啦，會唔會擔心影響埋即係私人市場嘅信心呢？唔該晒。
嗱，我都想再解釋咧，薪酬趨勢調查咧，其實係一個追蹤性嘅調查嚟嘅，佢唔係對未來做一個推測，佢亦都唔係咧係影一張而家今時今日嘅相，其實咧佢係一個追蹤翻過去嗰1年喺私營機構裏邊員工嗰個薪酬嘅變動嘅。咁所以其實對於私營市場嚟講咧，私營市場應該係佢哋都會好清楚咧，呢一個係講緊係過去嗰1年已經發生咗嘅事嘅。咁所以喺呢一方面呢，我相信私營機構佢喺嚟緊呢1年做佢嘅薪酬調整嘅時候，佢會考慮翻佢自己嘅獨特嘅狀況去做啦。咁另外呢，2.5係點樣計出嚟呢？其實呢，從來做公務員嘅薪酬調整呢，我哋要考慮晒嗰6個因素啦，要平衡嗰6個因素啦，從來都冇一條公式係我哋放晒啲因素落去，然後咧就可以計出一個數出嚟嘅。咁所以呢個數咧，我都可以喺度同大家講咧，唔係經過一個算術式或者數學式嘅計算咁樣計出嚟嘅，係的確係考慮咗唔同嘅因素。喺一方面，我哋有正嘅正薪酬趨勢指標啦，我哋有輕微嘅通脹升幅啦，公務員嘅辛勞啦，佢哋嘅士氣嘅影響啦，亦都有公務員團體佢哋嘅對於薪酬嘅訴求。但係喺另外一邊呢，亦都有嗰個整體個經濟狀況不明朗嘅地方，有政府個財政狀況，我哋要考慮係一個赤字嘅預算。咁所以呢，係平衡咗兩邊嘅因素，兩邊嘅拉力，我哋係得出呢一個結果出嚟嘅。 咁所以咧就呢個唔係對唔住，我俾唔到一條公式嚟，係唔係用一條公式計出嚟？咁但係就係平衡咗呢啲因素，我得到出嚟嘅結果啦。
好多謝各位，記者會完畢。